What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin Bees. I am a wife, a mom, a military veteran. I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm using all of my social media platforms to educate and raise awareness around the dangers of multi-level marketing companies and the tactics used by their reps. If you're brand new, hello. There's been a lot of you. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Thank you for everybody that has supported my channel since I started sharing my journey and educating and all of that good stuff. Shout out to the members. I appreciate all of you guys so much. If you'd like to follow me on social media, here are my handles. I'm the most active on Instagram. Okay. Today we have somebody that is in Q Sciences, and I take mental health very seriously. So I do want to give a couple content warnings. Before I do, whomever sent this to me, thank you for sending it. I appreciate you. And today I'm going to be focusing on the tactics and the methods that are being discussed on this video that I'm going to be reacting to. So as far as a content warning, there are mentions of sobriety, addiction. There are mentions of unaliving oneself. There are mentions of spiritual uh, manipulation and those types of things. So if any of this is something you're not prepared to watch, please feel free to skip this video. Okay. That being said, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. And drop your commentary below. And yeah, it's going to be a wild one, guys.
This tastes so good. Okay, I'm gonna give it a second while everyone's hopping on, and also so I can finish this really quick. As you're tuning in, I want to hear where you're coming in from, like what country, what state you are in. Love to know first. If you hear little like snorting noises, my Frenchies are in with me. You can say hi to them. They're right here, being little turds. Okay, so drop a comment where you're tuning in from. Oklahoma, Illinois.
Does anybody else think she is trying really hard with the product placement in this video? Just me? Okay. This seems so awkward.
This is so good. These are like a little treat. I feel like I could eat these for my sweet cravings and be like, be so good.
What? Ma'am, what you were just taking was collagen. If you want to have a sweet treat, have a sweet treat. But this seems a little over the top already. So starting off strong, I see.
So good. Okay. California, where are you guys all tuning in from? I'm about to get started, but before I do, I want to know where you're tuning in from. If you don't know me, I'm from Arizona. My nose is all red because I sound like a man because I have like a cold. Alberta. Hi, everyone. Hi, across the world. Okay. So I want to talk about a few things because my inbox has been flooded for the last 10 days, 9 days. But not a lot of people I've had a lot of people following me that have never followed me before. So I want to talk a little bit about my journey, my expertise in this industry, what I do, all the things. Okay. So first and foremost, hi everybody. So a little backstory about me because I think it's really important to understand where God's brought me from, what he's done in my life, and not just like these highlight reels, because that's not what.
Let me explain my facial reaction. My facial reaction is not to somebody sharing their spiritual testimony. But the problem that I have and many other anti-MLM content creators is when they are using spiritual manipulation, they are using their story of sobriety, when they are using the emotional manipulation and how, they were a single parent and they were broke and all of those things in a way to try and recruit people into their company, and they make all these claims that they have made all this money and this and that. And it's like, but none of that is shown in your company's income disclosure statement. I would love to see Q Science's income disclosure statement. They obviously don't have one. There's lots of us that have talked about that, which in my opinion is sketchy. This is a company that a lot of them talk about the set pay, but what they are forgetting to mention in all of this, and I know I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but I really want to preface this with this information. Um, what they don't mention is the auto ship requirement. What they don't mention is that you don't typically get paid off of your first, I think it's 100 points or something like that that you sell. So there are some things that, just like any other MLM, in my opinion, are left out of, hey, this is what you need to know if you're thinking about joining the company.
What it's about for me. I started this industry in 2000, the beginning of 2015, but I started this industry because I was a single mom at the time that was working at least 60, 70 hours a week, barely getting by.
How many hours a week are you working now? Because I bet it's the same, if not more.
Constantly overworked, constantly underpaid. I had come from also sobriety. I've been sober for the last 12 years. And when I had, so I grew.
First of all, congratulations. I think that that is really amazing that this person has been sober for 12 years. I think that that is awesome. But again, I'm going to say this probably several times in this video. The fact that she is telling this part of the story and she's got the product placement at the beginning, she's probably going to talk about recruiting at some point. These types of things, in my opinion, are used in order to, it's another way of doing attraction marketing. What you'll notice, and what I've noticed, is that you'll see a lot of these people that are in multi-level marketing companies, and they'll kind of have their thing, whether they're some sort of a coach or like a social media coach or something like that, or they are a sobriety coach. I've seen that. And then you go through the links and you see that they're actually in a multi-level marketing company. There's usually some kind of thing. For me, when I was in multi-level marketing, when I was in Prove it was like keto kitchens and stuff like that. But there's usually some sort of a thing that they can use to kind of funnel people into, hey, would you like to attend this Zoom, or, things like that.
Grew up in a Christian home my whole life, but I grew up around religion, not relationship. And so a lot of people don't understand what the difference is. And I'm here to tell you where me, as an opiate addict that overdosed at the age of 21, and God literally transformed my life overnight. I am not playing around. He took me from wanting to take my life at the age of 21 because I couldn't get clean. I couldn't stay sober. And I literally just cried out to God one night and was like, please take this all away from me. Cause if not, I'm taking my life. And that,
Again, I can appreciate her story. I think that stories like this are really, really important to share. But when you are pairing it with trying to recruit people into a multi-level marketing company where statistics show that the majority of people lose money or don't make any at all, that is really emotionally manipulative, in my opinion.
was 12 years ago, and by that month, that was a Friday night. By the Monday, I was in a treatment center that had a year-long wait list that completely transformed my life. The best way to put it, it's like Christian prison. I literally got to transform my life, and just God met me in those moments. And so sobriety has been something, thank you so much. Sobriety has been something that's been near and dear to my heart for a very, very long time. But I also want people to understand you're not stuck in that, and you're not defined by that. My tests are my testimonies, and I'm so grateful for everything that I've been through, highs and lows, that because it's transformed my life, and even up to this point right now. So first,
I do agree with what she's saying. I love the fact that she's sharing her challenges around sobriety. I love that she is speaking her truth about religion and spirituality. And again, because I'm going to say it probably multiple times, when you are comparing this with trying to recruit, it's just manipulative, in my opinion.
and foremost, I want to talk about the last 5, 6, 7 years, because I got into network marketing, MLM world back in 2015.
Notice how she jumped. So she was talking about sobriety, she was talking about growing up around religion, she was talking about all these really tough things that she's gone through, and then all of a sudden, let's talk about network marketing. Let's talk about how I got in at 2000, in 2015, and my expertise in the area. And it's like, it's to me, it has the same kind of characteristics as a bait and switch. It's a little bit different, I feel like, but she's telling all of these things to emotionally charge her audience. It's kind of like throwing out a wide fishing net to see what she can catch. And the fish that she's trying to catch, in my opinion, are people that have been through similar struggles. Oh,
Filled my way forward in everything that I do, but I have built multiple $1 million teams in both organizations that I've been a part of up until this point where I started over. So if you've been in my previous company, you probably know all the accomplishments, things like that. But it's like, I don't want to highlight those things. I think so often we get into this culture of we need to shout out all of our compliments. We need to accomplishments. Talk about the ranks that we were, talk about what we've made, talk about all the things we've done. And I've already proved that. I don't need to talk about that. It's one of those things that like I want people to have the hope based off of wherever they are right now. And it doesn't matter because I was a top leader. All those little flashy things you hear people say. But the thing about it is a lot of people stay there or stay where they're at because of pride and ego and the fear of what people will think of them if they were to do something that they're truly desiring on their heart.
so in my opinion, that's just her justifying switching companies. Also, I find it interesting that she was a part of another company. I don't know who this person is. I don't know anything about her story. I'm just reacting to the tactics in this video, obviously based on my opinion and personal experience. And she was in a previous company, so she probably joined Q Sciences and people came with her. It's been alleged to me, I'm not going to state this as a fact, that there are some sort of special contracts that do happen, again, alleged to me, when people fly into the Q Sciences corporate office. They're promised specific things. They may not call it a bridge contract, but it has been alleged to me that there are some sort of special deals that they do for certain individuals. So, my question is, if this is somebody that was a top leader in her previous company, did she get some sort of a special deal and come over to Q Sciences with that special deal? I don't know.
And, a month ago, you would have never heard me say I was walking away from what I was walking away from because I honestly thought there was nothing better out there. I honestly thought, hey, this is just a temporary situation. It will get better. I honestly thought that a year of the same repetitive stuff, it was just a season. And, you know, trenches are built and, all the things that you hear people say, like the grass is not greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. And I'm rooted. That was me. And I have no problem saying, like, shame on me because ignorance doesn't know until you know. And, I used to say rooted. I used to say, I'm here for, like, I'm a life for, like, all the things. And here's the thing, it's okay to look stupid and not know what you didn't know. It's okay. And so, as a leader in this industry, I've been featured in US Today, been featured in all the things. But
Remember just a couple of minutes ago when she said, I don't need to talk about my accomplishments. I don't need to talk about that stuff. I've already done that. And she mentioned something about giving people hope wherever they're at or something along those lines. But here she is telling people, I've been in this magazine and I've done this and I've done that. And to me, that feels kind of like a resume statement. Like, look at me. This is why you should join with me. She probably, in my opinion, has people watching from her previous company. It sounds to me like at the time of this video, she had been with Q Sciences for like a month. So based on my experience, there probably were a lot of people from her previous company watching. And I think that's why she's saying some of this. But again, this is just my opinion.
my thing is there's such a culture in the MLM world that people don't understand what they're truly doing until they get there and they're taught, to have these flashy objects or go get these cars or, all these things. And when it came to this industry and me starting over, I had to start over because I needed something that my community wasn't spinning their wheels on. And I've always worked with corporate before and things of that nature. I've done lots of systems, lots of trainings, lots of leadership stuff. I have my own podcast, like all the things.
All the things. Why do they all say that? I mean, I used to as well. I used to say that too. I have to think about why I used to say that. I believe that it's because instead of mentioning everything, it was kind of just speaking from my own experience. I believe that I said stuff like that because instead of listing every little thing, I was trying to use it as like a curiosity statement. I don't know. This is fascinating actually.
But there's a need within this industry because I may know what I'm doing and I may know how to teach it, but a lot of people don't have the systematical format to be able to duplicate it down and to truly build leaders and not just focus on amateurs. And you don't need to know what you're doing to come in this industry, but you do have to have a business owner mindset. And so
You know what's crazy to me is that many of these MLM leaders will talk about they're building leaders. But if you really look at the majority of their teams, I bet you anything, the majority of their money is made off of the amateurs, using her words that she just said in this video. I bet the majority of their money comes from those amateurs. And if you're somebody that's in a multi-level marketing company and you have a leader that does lives like this, pay attention. Pay attention.
So one of those things that I've really loved about just my development over the last 5 years is understanding how to develop leaders, not amateurs. Because the thing about it is your why can't be your excuse. And at the end of the day, you have to want your changes more than you want your excuses. But if you're constantly spinning your wheels and your team is constantly spinning their wheels, it's not always that it's you, it's the vehicle. And what I had to decide over the last few months, my mental health was taking its toll, and I kept praying to God, like, God, give me direction, give me a sign, give me clarity, give me something, because I don't want to walk away from what I've built. I love what I do. I love this industry. I love being able to help others. I love doing everything that I thought was my calling. And I kept thinking maybe I should go get my realtor's license. Maybe, and it had nothing to do with money. It happened to do with the repetitive circle that I kept seeing my community go on, because I don't want to be at the top winning alone. Like, that's not what it's about. And a lot of leaders.
Oh my God. This sounds like cognitive dissonance. So she was making money, her team wasn't making money, and they were going through the systems that she probably creates or she says that she created, and they weren't winning. I feel like this is the crossroads. I feel like that's what we're seeing here. And I've talked about this based on my personal journey in multi-level marketing. And I think that there is a point where you realize that in order for you to move forward in multi-level marketing, you have to be okay with recruiting people and knowing that the majority of them are not going to make any money. And to me, that's what it sounds like she was facing. And I just wish she would have got out of multi-level marketing and pursued other things, because it's like she saw it from the sounds of it and she chose to get into another company to repeat the same kind of cyclic behavior.
They won't speak up to these things because they're afraid of what will crumble, or they're afraid of what will happen if they were vulnerable with these things. Or, they tell their team to push harder. This is just a season. This is just a circumstance, and, blinders on. And I preached all this. So it's really hard for me to say these things too, because I feel like a hypocrite on these things, but I've also understand that it's okay to be admitting that I was wrong. And what this change happened for me, at least, and I'm not here to push anyone. You need to follow the tugs on your heart, and that's what it comes down to. But for me, God.
That is a cross recruiting statement, in my opinion. She's trying to plant the seed, it seems like, that, well, hey, listen, I was a hypocrite. I was wrong, I thought this other company was it, but it wasn't. The systems were broken or whatever. They all say very similar things. And I think what it really comes down to is the business model. The business models are all very similar. You make a little bit of money off of the sale of the product, you make a lot more money off of recruiting. And so I think that she was trying to plant, or it seems like she's trying to plant the seeds for the people in her previous company that are watching, and then using spiritual manipulation to say, listen, follow your heart, pray about it. That's not me throwing out digs to any kind of spiritual beliefs. That's just, I'm just giving you the commentary on what I'm seeing here. And that just felt like a really cross recruiting type statement.
I'd wrecked my like whole life over the last 2 weeks and put something on my heart that I thought I'm not doing. Like I refuse. Like I'm gonna do my way. I'm just gonna focus on what I do best and I'm just gonna keep showing up. And see a lot of people will blame like, oh, well, leaders that walk away, it's because of a lack of discipline, a lack of consistency, a lack of results. You guys, my enrollments never went underneath double digits. My business was I'm very consistent. So it was never one of those things. What it was, I was winning at the top, my team was not. And I couldn't keep just putting on a brave face, telling them to keep showing up when there wasn't a value for it. And there was a lot of things within other things that I just needed to have my integrity, my character, and my heart align with where God needed me to be. And it's okay to outgrow things. Like what I
Oh, God, I agree with so much of what she's saying. She was making money, her team wasn't making money. That is a business model problem. I really hope that this person gets out. I really hope this person realizes, maybe looks back, at her video and says, God, I was saying exactly what was going on. I mean, I did the same kind of things too. I can relate to everything that she's saying. And the fact that she's going to try and take that and now try to recruit into Q Sciences, I think is just really gross.
was previously a part of, it's what built me to be the woman I am today. I am so grateful for it. And I will never say anything bad in the aspect of that. Like, it helped me be the leader I am. It helped me be the woman I am. It helped me have the confidence that I have. But now I get to help my girls experience that with true sustainable success and wealth that is partnered with integrity and faith and freedom. And so 2 weeks ago, I had my breaking point. I called my best friend, bawling, crying because of this exact situation that I was so afraid to admit out loud. Um, and I kept being like, "Don't mind Luna. She has a diaper on. She's in heat." So
Please get your animals spayed and neutered. Thank you.
next thing is, I just kept being like, "No, God, you're not pulling me elsewhere. You're not pulling me to like quit. You're not pulling me to go somewhere else. I know that's not what you're telling me to do." And then I just was wrecked. So Christmas Day, I woke up feeling like, obviously I took a 48-hour social media break, and if you know me, you know that I don't do like 48-hour social media breaks ever, but I needed to get clear with God and what he was calling me to be, because I am so done trying to like operate in my will, in my way, and my ego and my pride and like my results, and like everything I have is because of God. Everything I have is because he's directed my path. And when I am trying to do things in my own strength and my own will, it doesn't go the right way. And so for me, Christmas Day, I woke up and I said, I hear you. I've been able to see where you're directing me. And I am so deathly scared because unfortunately there is toxic stuff in MLMs where you lose friendships that you thought were friendships because you move somewhere else. And it's like in corporate America, that doesn't happen if you go somewhere else and find a better job or find.
God, she is standing so close to the point, you guys. She is standing right there. She's saying everything the anti-MLM movement points out. Oh, God.
Something better. You don't get like harassed or ridiculed or bullied. And, that was a fear of mine, but also feeling like a fraud. I didn't want people to just look at me like I was like this top leader and then all of a sudden just walked away. And like there's also false narratives that get pushed quite a bit. And it's really sad. But at the end of the day, God's really protected. Yeah, it's been one of those things that I'm grateful though, because God's really protected me over the last couple weeks. I will say that, because I've had a lot of beautiful messages. I've had a lot of like peace in this process, and that's what I know obedience comes from. Obedience happens when you are following God's will, not your way. And the more I did those things, the more I had peace, the more I had joy, the more I had fresh anointing, the more I had fresh vision. Um, the right friends will never leave you, and you will definitely learn who is really truly for you besides just helping their paycheck or their company look a specific way. But not only that, like you'll also learn a lot through this process. And I'm so grateful for it because at the end of the day, I'm very, I found like a new calling in my life to really bring a lot of awareness to canceling out toxic MLM culture because we should be empowering each other no matter where we're at, no matter what's going on. We should be empowering women and men to have the true residual that's going to build wherever they're at. And, at the
I have to pause this because this narrative of multi-level marketing is empowering women when we know that the majority of people in multi-level marketing are women. And then you look at the statistics and data, whether it's for specific companies or from the FTC, and the majority of the people in MLM that are statistically women are losing money or don't make any at all. It is the opposite of empowering women, in my opinion.
end of the day, just like I used to preach, there is better out there. And unfortunately, I didn't know that. And as times change and as things change, there is things out there that could be better. And, once I saw this comp plan and how every single level, no matter where you're at, you have guaranteed pay, that's just one slice of the pie. There's over 7 slices and there's new slices coming out is the best way to explain it. But that's one slice. That means that gives my community something to work for, but also that cushion to know that they're not alone. But
So, speaking of slices of pie, there are only so many slices that you can cut a pie into. And just like any other MLM that I have talked about on my channel and other content creators have talked about, when you're looking at these comp plans, look at how much of the payout, according to the comp plan, is based off of the selling. Yeah, is based off of the selling of the actual products and how many different ways they have to pay off of some element of recruiting. Because the majority of these companies, you make the most money, meaning if there's 10 ways that you can get paid in a company, something like 7 of them will be some aspect of recruiting and or having a team. So pay attention to that stuff. If you're somebody that's in a multi-level marketing company or you see somebody that all of a sudden is now joining Q Sciences and you're like, "What is this?" And they're talking about, set pay and they're talking about our comp plan is on one sheet. First of all, it shouldn't be. It should be on multiple pages because I've seen this comp plan and I've looked at it. Um, just pay attention. Really look at it. The majority of the pay is going to be off of recruiting and team building.
not only that, one thing is I earned a substantial bonuses in my previous company. And, someone that had a lot of money and a lot of, and really, really fast, you don't always have the knowledge on how to make your wealth work for you. And so one of those things that I love is I don't want my girls just getting like cars and going on trips and having these things in order to flash things. I want
This is where she's going to talk about their financial wealth program or whatever it's called. I can't think of it right now, where they help people pay off debt. I've actually talked about this before on my channel, and it makes me wonder the company that they're working with when it comes to, paying off debt for the people that are distributors in this company. I wonder if the company is getting some sort of a kickback. I've also heard that I think it's the president's wife is the one that's running this program. So I find it a little bit sketchy, in my opinion.
my girls to, hey, how about you have the money built up and the savings built up to go purchase that car in full without having to go get a lease, without having to go get a auto loan. And even though it's paid for by the company, what happens if you did leave or you didn't maintain a rank or something? There's just a lot that goes into that whole side of things. I don't want to ever like bash anything. So at the end,
But that's what you were doing. I mean, and I agree with her. The car programs that a lot of these MLM companies have, I've done a whole video on that on how it worked with Prove It. But you typically do have to qualify for the lease or the car loan, you know, which requires a down payment, and then you're making the payment every single month, and the dropping of ranks and stuff like that uh comes into the light, I guess. If I don't even know if that's the right way to say that, but yep.
Of the day, knowledge is power. And, once I saw what I saw, I couldn't unsee it. And so I prayed about it. I didn't like join the same day that I like had, vetted the company. I vetted the company. I asked hard questions. I really got into the nitty gritty of real and raw stuff, because if I was going to start over in this industry, it had to been for the right reasons. One thing I love about what I partnered with is their 5 F's: faith, family, finances, fitness, and friends. And they don't play around. They don't want you working on a Sunday. They don't want you being on your phone more than you're spending with your spouse. I had the pleasure of meeting our CEOs this past week, and like, they are no joke the best people I've ever been able to be in a room with. They're not one way in front of you and then the other way behind you. They literally embody like, hey, we don't want your spouse joining your business because it's like the MLM thing to do. We want your spouse to have their own purpose, their own like who they are, but also understand what you're doing. They don't want this like toxic MLM culture. And it's the least MLM-ish company I've ever been like ever seen in my life. And that's what they're really embodying is we're business owners. We work with health and wellness, but we're holistic health. And my nose is like raw.
Holistic health. I would love to see the sources on that claim.
We're holistic health. And see, our doctor, it's really beautiful because we have naturopaths that are actually our doctors that formulate our holistic health side of things. We have a whole new vertical launching as well. That's going to be
The vertical launching is just like home care items, like Melaleuca.
something that you don't even understand what you're gonna like. I'm all about non-toxic living, non-toxic and like clean health. So holistic health is my jam. But with that being said, like our doctor, he's the one that like formed WebMD. He's the one that started WebMD, and that's who we have on staff that formulates all of our products, all of our holistic health things. They're scientifically backed, scientifically proven. And the thing that I love is that it's actually non-toxic. You don't have hidden white labeled ingredients in your.
You know what I would love for you to be sharing the sources of all of this. Also, what kind of a doctor is this doctor that's on staff with Q Sciences?
Products. And, once I really started taking my blinders off and I really started looking at things that I had used previously, red 40 should not be in your products, things of that nature. Like, there's just so much things that I had to truly understand and grow. Like I said, you don't know until you know. So, other thing is the financial freedom movement. My dogs. One thing that I love is the financial freedom movement. The moment you come in, you don't have to be a rank, you don't have to hit things, you don't have to do things, anything of that nature. But the moment you come in, you get an actual CPA and financial 40. Yeah, I know that. It's so crazy.
Wait, did she just say you don't have to do anything, you don't have to hit ranks? I think what she's talking about is you have access to this program kind of thing. Oh man, here we go.
Crazy. Financial freedom movement. And so that financial freedom movement, it's not with the actual company, it's with a company that they partner with that are actual CPAs. What I love about that is they meet with you and your spouse, or if you're single, they just meet with you and they formulate a game plan. So whether you're wanting to build credit, invest money, buy a house, pay your cars off, pay off debt, whatever you're wanting to do, they literally go in and make sure that you are having everything formulated to truly, truly build sustainability and build wealth. And one of those things that you really, really have to understand is you need to understand your comp plan. You need to understand what you're partnering with. And a lot of people don't understand their comp plans. They talk about dollar volume, but are you getting paid on that? They talk.
And that's because, in my opinion, they write the comp plans super complicated, so the majority of people don't understand it.
Talk about all these things, but it's like education is so key, you guys. And it's okay to not know either. I didn't. And I led multiple 7-figure organizations. But it's also okay to outgrow things. And I think the thing that comes down to is following God's tugs and not your own. Following God's tugs and not what people say.
Okay. So here we now have more spiritual manipulation. There's been that's happened several times in this video, but all of my people that are religious that watch my videos, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much, and I have a question for you. Um, I kind of already know the answer because you guys, we've talked about this before. I have a really hard time believing that God, Jesus, your higher power, whatever you believe in, would guide people to a multi-level marketing company. I have a very hard time believing that, especially with the behaviors that we see, the tactics that we see, the statistics and data behind multi-level marketing companies. And I have a very hard time believing that God would nudge anybody into a multi-level marketing company. So my question for you guys is, what do you think about that? Drop that in the comments if you feel comfortable enough to do so. I would love to hear what you have to say about it.
Following God's tugs, no matter how freaking scary it is. And if comp plans are confusing to you, I will help you. I'm not here to like make it a bias thing either. Like, I will educate you because as a professional in this industry, knowledge is power. And it's something that I don't take lightly. This is your family's future. This is your team's future. This is your business. And it's not something that you should just be throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping it succeeds because it's the easy thing to be told to do. It's something that you have to really pride yourself in and respect and truly understand. And it really comes down to those things. And one of the things that I will say is that walking in faith, and I walked away from my livelihood, my livelihood, um, literally my livelihood. And it was the scariest decision I've ever done in my life. But I can tell you, God provides. And my first paycheck in 1 week, jaw dropped me.
1 week in and you're shocked by the amount of money that you're making, could it be because you brought team members with you? Could it be because you were tapping in to your former organization? I don't know. That's very interesting that she's saying all that.
Sorry, I'm also like sick. Jaw dropped
Hope you
me.
feel better.
And it literally was something that like God's like, dude, I got you. Like, you followed me in obedience. You trusted my tugs. You are operating with integrity. You're operating in faith. And you're doing the things that are letting your soul on fire because your calling is not a conference call. And because I stood in that obedience, He is providing. My team has quadruple promoted. I'm probably promoting tonight. I don't even know. Like, because the other thing that is, I've been on the leaderboard, and that's cool that I'm on like a worldwide leaderboard. But you want to know what lights my freaking fire up? Seeing my girls on the leaderboard. I don't want to be number one on there. I did all those things. It's cool. I've hit all those like accomplishments, and it's great and all. I'm here because my team deserved actual not spinning their wheels and actual leadership, actual systems, actual community, actual faith, actual mentoring. And this is why I'm so freaking excited. I'm heading back out to Utah in the next couple weeks actually as well. I'm also going to be at conference. I'm going to be at all the things. So if you've been wanting to learn more, my inbox is open.
Oh my God. Okay, so that part, there's a lot to unpack there. I feel like when we see videos like this where they're talking about the new company that they're going to and they're talking about, we have the systems here, we have this, we have that, we have this, and they start listing everything. I feel like if we were to go far enough back onto their timeline, what or on social media or whatever, not their timeline, but their social media pages, we would find videos of them saying similar things about the previous company.
I can hop on a phone call with you and help you learn. But at the end of the day, like I said, faith is not something that you get validation from others. Faith comes from where God's pulling you, and that's what it comes down to. And I'm never gonna apologize for that. People might, and I just want to say thank you guys as well. If you've been a part of my community or you've been in my following and my friend on here, I just want to say thank you for knowing my heart. Thank you for knowing who I am. And thank you for the messages you guys have overwhelmed me with. It has been the most beautiful thing to see support and true love and kindness in seasons that are very, very scary and honestly the most beautiful part. And I just want to say thank you because it doesn't go unnoticed. And I appreciate every single one of you that have reached out and cheered me on and loved and supported me. That's truly what we need to embody more of. I don't want to build amateurs. I want to build professionals, business owners. It's not MLM world for me over here. And one of the things that I love is I get to really help my community. Oh, thank you.
I really think that that phrase, "I'm building leaders, not amateurs," I know she probably has people in her downline that are thinking, "Am I an amateur? Does she think that I'm a leader?" Ugh, so gross to me. Mm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I walked away not because of me. I walked away not because of my income. I was doing great. That wasn't the problem. I walked away because my community deserved more. My holistic health side. No, I'm not still taking Thrive. I haven't taken Thrive in over 3 weeks. I detoxed my body before I made this move.
Oh, so she was in Le-Vel. That's really interesting because doesn't I'm pretty sure that they talk about all of the natural ingredients, one of which is white willow bark or was white willow bark, which is a natural anti-inflammatory or something along those lines. So this is interesting. How long did she detox before taking the new product? I have so many questions. I know you guys do too.
Um, I walked away because I needed integrity within the products, integrity within the mentoring, integrity within the corporate side, integrity within the team, integrity within my pay, in all areas. And God led me and pulled me here.
So, in my opinion, by her saying that, she's saying that Le-Vel did not have those things. So, at the beginning of this, when she said, I'm not here to bash, my previous company. What do you think that statement is? This is so wild. And very, very much what we see when people join new MLM companies. They will make these kind of comments about how the last company was terrible or whatnot. They'll do it kind of in my opinion, like a little sneaky way. They won't come outright and say it, but they'll say things like that. Like, I needed a company that integrity was a big deal when it came to the corporate office, the comp plan, and they'll list all this stuff. And by saying that, it's absolutely talking bad about the company that they just came from. Now you add into this that she probably has people that were a part of her team or that they knew from Le-Vel events, and they met her, they've been watching her on social media, and so now they're hearing her talk about all this stuff going, "Oh my god, she was Le-Vel," kind of thing. I don't know if that's the case, but this celebrity status that a lot of these top leaders in MLM have within their companies is so odd to me, but people follow them. And when they go to the next company, they have people from the previous company watching. And in my opinion, that's why we have the lawsuits that we do, where the previous company is suing this person. And a lot of times, what will happen is the new company will actually cover the legal fees for that individual, in my opinion, because they know that it's an investment. This person had a large team in the previous company. So now they're coming over here. So we're going to cover the legal fees because we know, again, my opinion, that they're going to come over here. They're going to bring team members and we're going to make a lot more money. So it's a business investment for the new company to cover the legal fees. Oh,
I have nothing else to say. I'm so thankful for everything that has led me to this point. And I will put this on a replay. And like I said, if you're scared to reach out and go,
okay. That there was only like 30 seconds left or something like that. But anyways, that was today's video. What did you guys think? Probably the same things. I think that this is an attempt to cross recruit. That's just my personal opinion. I do hope this person gets out. I hope she realizes that she can do other things. I hope the people in her downline realize that they can do other things. I hope that from the sounds of it, the cognitive dissonance that she was experiencing and why she was, praying for something different and her way out and all of that stuff. I just hope that she realizes again, from the sounds of it, from her own video, it sounds like she, was facing the crossroads. And I hope that she wakes up. I hope that her team wakes up. I hope people don't lose a ton of money. I hope they don't lose themselves like we see a lot of times with multi-level marketing companies and the people that are in them. So yeah. If you love today's video, would love for you to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and double check, because I've had people that were like, hey, I was subscribed to your channel, what's going on? So just if you would double check, that literally just happened today. And don't join an MLM, guys. They all say the same things. They all promise the same things. Q Sciences is not any different. I think, in my opinion, Q Sciences is one of the companies that really does act like a pyramid scheme. Just my opinion. So don't do that. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you being here, especially those of you that watch all the way through. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.